Hi, I'm Dana Obleman. This video is for my free sleep course for babies 7 to 12 months right here on YouTube. If you could use more guidance, then check out Sleep Sense Plus. The link is in the description below.
Welcome back. We've talked a lot about bedtime routines, and I'm sure you've already read about this somewhere, and you might have one already established for your baby. But I just want to go through a few do's and don'ts with the bedtime routine before we get started into night one. Bedtime routines are much more important than you think. It is, again, that cueing system to the body and brain, letting us know it's time to transition. We want it to be predictable for your baby, so it's going to be in the same order every single night. And what this does is kind of send a message to our baby that, okay, we're doing these things again. That means that bedtime is coming. So what time baby goes to bed is also very important. We want to avoid overtiredness. That is your baby's worst enemy. Overtiredness in children shows up a lot differently than it does in adults. Overtiredness in children looks like hyperactivity. It's like their bodies are like, well, we're tired, but I guess we're not sleeping, so let's really kick it up a notch. And they get a little manic even. They're hysterically laughing one second and crying the next, and they want up in your arms and they want down, and they're rubbing their face and they're rubbing their ears and rubbing their eyes and just being a little bit manic. That's overtiredness, and so we really want to try hard to avoid that. We will get to that when we start talking about naps, but in the nap chapter of the book, there's a guide in there for age and time awake. So I want you to double check that, given your child's exact age, how many hours should they be awake before they need sleep again? And really follow that closely. You can tinker with it a bit, but it's again, in 15 years, that's pretty spot on. So it's a great place to start. So bedtime. I love an early bedtime. I really do. I think it does a few things. One, it gets baby to bed before overtiredness sets in. Our biological clocks tend to have a little bit of a second wind around the 7:30 hour. It's like our bodies are tired, but then, oops, we get a little surge of energy that carries us through until a later time. I like to catch kids before that happens. And so for me, 7:30 is really my favorite bedtime. Now you could try an 8 to 8 schedule or even a little bit later. The chances are pretty high that your baby, once she's sleeping well, will just start gravitating towards an earlier wake up, but it's worth a try. So let's say we're shooting for 7 o'clock for our bedtime. I like routines to be about 30 minutes in length. Anything longer than that can get a little muddy for the child. There's too many steps, it's taking too long, she might be getting overtired. 30 minutes is perfect. That is including a feed time if we're still feeding. That's going to include that. I love to start a routine with a bath. I think a bath is such a different and unique experience in a baby's day that it's a great cue. It's a great first step of a routine. Now, don't worry if your baby doesn't relax in the bathtub. I've never met a child that relaxes in the bathtub. They love it. They play, they splash, they pour water on their heads. They absolutely love it. And that is great. This is good quality time for you and your baby. Want to keep it to about 10 minutes. Anything longer than that, and we might be getting them a little too wound up or pushing into overtiredness. But absolutely have a good kick and splash. If you've got a baby and you're worried about dry skin, this is a clever little pro tip one of my consultants shared with me and said, you know what, my son, he had some mild eczema, so I would put him in the bath every night. One night I would use water in the bath, and the next night no water. I would just put him in the tub and let him play with his toys. I thought that was a genius idea because it keeps the predictability going, the structure of the routine going, but then we don't have to worry about the dry skin. After the bath, take baby out, get baby's jammies on. Some people like to incorporate some massage, infant massage if your child likes that, absolutely. Then there's a feed, right? It would be absolutely fair to assume that your baby needs a bedtime feed. Absolutely. So go ahead and offer that, keeping them awake through the feed. This is the part of the bedtime routine that most people are making mistakes around. They got it, they got the bath, yep, jammies, yep, teeth brush, yep, now I nurse to sleep, or I bottle feed to sleep, or I rock this baby for the next hour until she finally falls asleep. In your routine currently, you are doing the work of getting baby to sleep in the routine. From this night on, you will not do that anymore. You will keep baby wide awake through the feed. That will be hard at first, absolutely, because remember, this is her strategy into sleep. This is the way he gets himself to sleep every night. He gets that breast in his mouth, he gets that bottle in his mouth, and off he goes on his journey into sleep. And so the first night or two where you stop this journey from happening can be a little upsetting for the baby. And it might feel even a little weird for you, right? It kind of feels counterproductive, but you really need to keep him awake. I mean, not even heavy blinking. We're going to keep him awake. To do that, try giving him some tickles, some pokes, try singing loudly. You might even have to take him off and sort of rouse him with a little dance around the room, and then keep going so that he's had enough to eat but is not starting to fall asleep. I hope I've hammered that point home, because that's a really important piece of this puzzle. Keep baby awake. You might also find that he's just not having it, right? If you're not going to let him fall asleep there, then he wants no part of this. And he might start pushing the bottle away or pushing you away, and that's okay too. We're not going to force him. We're not going to push too hard on this. We might offer another time or two, but if he's just not having it, he's not having it. And then we're going to move into the last step. I like to see one last step that breaks that connection between I eat and I go directly to bed, because that's the association. So after the feed, I love to put a story in. I think I'm a teacher, so I'm biased, but I really do think we should be reading to our kids from infancy onwards. So a story is a great place here. Again, he might be a little frustrated from this not letting me sleep business and not really be into it or push it away or start crying. That's okay. We're not going to force it. I promise you, as we work through this, he will learn to love this spot in the routine and really look forward to stories, but we might not be quite there yet. After the story time, we're going to move into the crib. So kisses, good night, a little hug, and into the crib baby goes. Baby awake in crib. Now you're probably looking at this video wondering, oh Dana, what next? Well, I'm going to tell you what next in the next video. Bye for now.